Hi there. This is going to be yet another rant style video. I just got home from work and I've got to go back for a 10-hour shift in 10 hours and I haven't slept yet, so sorry about that. But this news is fresh and I can't not put my 2 cents in because I'm a little bit of a seasoned veteran when it comes to terrible anniversaries. It's been ages since I've made my first video, but for those of you that have stuck around for this entire time, you would know the very first video I ever made in my entire time on YouTube was a video talking about how terrible Genshin's first anniversary was, and all the way up until this point, I have firmly believed that Genshin's first anniversary is easily the single worst gacha anniversary I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot, because I play a lot of gacha games. That being said, I would like to humbly pass the torch on to the new worst gacha anniversary I've ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, let Wuthering Waves be a case study on how to ruin 1 year of good faith in an hour and a half. For those of you that don't know, Wuwa just turned a year old, and to celebrate, the devs decided they were gonna roll out their grid anniversary livestream where players were expecting a lot, and they should have. I see, a couple hands out there trying to cast damage control of their Wuthering Waves and being like, oh, players are greedy, they just want handouts. But I mean, you gotta keep in mind, this is Wuwa. This is the same game that gave you a free 5-star and a filler patch for no reason. This is the same game that every single patch gives you about 120 pulls. Hell, I'll even do you one better. I've only spent about $150 on this game in the year that I've played it, and up until version 2.1 when I took a break, I was able to get literally every single limited 5-star and standard 5-star, and a lot of the limited weapons in just that short period of time. They give you a lot of pulls if you're willing to commit your time to the game. They're pretty rewarding. So when the anniversary comes around, which is one of the biggest celebrations of any gacha game in general, and you decide that 20 pulls is all you're gonna manage, that in itself would be very disappointing, and I'm not surprised that players are upset, because 20 pulls is really nothing. And the reason why I specify 20 pulls is because if you look at the charts, I'll like throw it up on screen here, the patch average for Wuwa is 120 pulls, and you only get like 147, and that's if you have Battle Pass. If we don't count that, you're only getting 22 more pulls than usual, and there's no free 4-star, there's no free 5-star, there's not even a standard 5-star, no free weapon, no nothing. All you get are the pulls, which again, like I said, in and of itself, that's not inherently bad. The problem is the developers of the game are completely tone deaf, and throughout the entirety of the anniversary livestream, they're constantly egging players on with, there's a little more. You know, hey guys, we got a little more. Hey, why don't y'all come on in and sit on down, because there's a little bit more. And they then proceeded to reveal nothing for the entire livestream. I will go over the highlights. To celebrate anniversary, we have given you all 20 pulls. Okay, alright, that's some anniversary rewards. We will be having an anniversary collab in 6 months when it's not the anniversary anymore. It is with Edgerunners, which is pretty cool, but nobody cares. That doesn't count for anniversary, that you're doing a collab where you're going to sell us something, and we're probably not going to get that much free, but I digress. To also celebrate anniversary, we are returning old limited time 4-star weapons. Yay, as if any player who's been dedicated for the entire period of the game's release is going to care about that. We will also be releasing anniversary swimsuit skins that you have to pay for. So it's not an anniversary reward. But don't worry, because there's a little more. In order to celebrate our first year anniversary, we have decided that it is a great idea for us to roll out literally every single character in the game in a 1 patch period. That's right, there will be 12 limited time banners in Wuwa running within 1 cycle period. Isn't that awesome? So for anniversary, y'all get to spend money. And these banners have hard rates, by the way. They are the exact same as any other banner in the entire game. They still have a 50-50. The chance of getting a 5-star isn't higher. The rate for pity is the exact same. There's literally no difference. So in 1 patch, they're going to be running 24 limited banners, weapon and character, and giving 20 more pulls to compensate, and they're calling this an anniversary patch. So needless to say, the community very quickly saw through that this is a quote-unquote reward patch that they are actually using to disguise the fact that they are trying to predatorily sell you items. And if everything I said up until this point wasn't enough of a sell for it, you know, the fact that it's a collab that you have to pay for, it's skins you have to pay for, it's 12 banners that you have to pay for, no free 4-star, no free 5-star. Okay, well, if that wasn't enough, they're also conveniently resetting top-up at the same time. Give us more money. And the irony is amazing because throughout the entire live stream, they're talking about how this is a very player-friendly experience. This is player-friendly. Meanwhile, the thank you to everybody is the privilege to give Kuro more money. So yeah, it's pretty bad, and I do think it's worse than Genshin's first year, because while Genshin's first year was very insulting, at least they didn't over-monetize their own anniversary to make more money off of the most dedicated players, because that's what they're doing. But I will give credit to the community of WoWA, because unlike Genshin's first anniversary, where there was very little player backlash after they were rewarded a mighty 10 extra pulls, the community for WoWA seems to be putting their foot down pretty hard, because almost immediately, the social media pages for all of WoWA across all languages got absolutely bombarded and flooded with people expressing their discontent. So much so that less than an hour after the live stream ended, there was a open feedback put in the Discord so that players could complain there. The subreddit is currently being heavily monitored by auto mods, and everything is being grouped into one big trend patch for complaining about the anniversary, because it has gotten that bad. And I've seen a lot of very smooth-brained, refrigerator temperature IQ people see this feed in the Discord and being like, oh my god, guys, Kuro Games is listening, you know, they're gonna improve the game, and that is so dumb. They tried to gimp the player base, and then when it didn't work, they opened up a feed asking for feedback when there's no guarantee that any of these changes are gonna be implemented. This is your reminder, anniversary patch is in 9 days, so there's absolutely no guarantee anything's gonna happen, and players are praising Kuro for listening, even though this is a problem that was so obvious that they pushed out anyway, because I guess they thought they'd get away with it. I really don't know what the thought process was over at the Kuro Games headquarters, but hey, good job, guys. Y'all really showed them. Hell, you didn't just show your player base, you showed Google Classrooms too. Have you seen those reviews? That shit is funny as hell. And then there's the other tomfuckery they're up to that I don't really want to get into with the content creators and how they're banning people that are being critical. I've looked into that myself, and it looks like that's a whole lot of hogwash. The people in question were leaking shit, and yeah, no wonder you got removed from the content creator program, but that's going on too, because the anniversary, like, people are mad. They are swarming the streets right now, and Kuro Games doesn't know what to do. As for me and how I feel about this whole thing, I don't really care one way or another, because when I play games, especially gacha games, I always expect the absolute worst, the bare minimum for these companies, because at the end of the day, as much as players want to try and pretend otherwise, these are companies, and companies only care about their bottom line. And the fact of the matter is, this situation only got as bad as it did because the people that play WoWA like to put their game up on this awesome little pedestal and talk about how insert gacha game name could never, and how they're so much better. And when companies see this type of behavior, they think, oh, we have a lot of goodwill, I wonder how much we can get away with. Which in theory, that can work. Like, if you build up enough good grace, people might not react so violently, but in Kuro's case, and this is coming from a person that plays the game, they have given us so much for so long that now when a time for giving is come upon us, the anniversary, which is easily, in all gacha games, like I've always said, one of the biggest celebrations, because a significant majority of gacha games don't last a year. So when we get to this period, it's supposed to be a celebration of the players, because the game would not exist if it were not for the people who played it. So when this time rolls around and we're expecting something valuable, and you have had a history of giving players something valuable, and then you decide to make this the patch where you cheap out and try to siphon money from your player base, then yeah, it should be expected that the player base isn't very appreciative of what you did. You basically just poured oil over an open fire and then got surprised when it blew up in your face. And you know, this whole situation was easily avoidable. You could have just made it to where the limited time character banners had a guarantee, like there's no 50-50, and players would have accepted that. Hell, I would have been happy with that. I probably would have spent money to get all the characters in the game, because I missed 2 from when I was absent. Maybe reduce the pity on character weapon banners from 80 to 60. There you go. You'd still make a significant amount of money because players see that and they're like, oh my god, that's a damn good deal. Let me get some of that. And top-ups just refreshed, you would have made a ton of money. And it's not like the dual feature releases next patch are going to have this. Or what you could have done was given players a free event 5-star. Because let's face it, those standard banner 5-star weapons, they're not anything crazy. And neither are the standard 5-star characters. Like, it would have had to have been an event weapon, and there's a handful of them you could have given where if players saw that, they would have been crazy happy. Give it for the characters that have rerun already, because they're probably not coming back for a while. style. Or hell, give players a 4-star selector. They didn't even do that. Like, come on, man. There are so many ways you could have made this work, and they decided to cheap out at quite possibly one of the worst times. And honestly, I'm enjoying it. It's really funny, because at the end of the day, I don't care one way or another. I am the most casual of casual woo-wah player, alright? I've been playing this game for a year, and I bet most of the people in my audience had no idea. But I believe in making your opinion known when things like this happens. So if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go slurk back into the shadows now. Like the video, dislike the video if you disliked it, leave your opinion. I know y'all will. Talk to you later. Peace, speed.